welfare, welfare, welfare. So, let's talk about the word welfare. The part of speech is noun, which means it refers to a person, place, thing, or idea. Common usage includes referring to the overall well-being and happiness of someone or something, such as a country's economic welfare or an animal's physical welfare. This word can also imply a state of being provided with support, comfort, and protection, like in welfare services that help people in need. However, it's worth noting that in some cases, the term welfare is associated with government programs that provide financial assistance to citizens, which can be sensitive or even stigmatized, especially in certain countries. So, when using this word, consider the context and be aware of potential nuances. Here are 3 practical example sentences using the word welfare in a formal usage context, such as in an official report or a speech by a government representative. You might say, the government has implemented various policies to improve the welfare of its most vulnerable citizens, including those with disabilities and senior citizens, to ensure their basic needs are met. This sentence demonstrates how the word welfare can be used to refer to the well-being and support provided to individuals in need. In this context, the speaker is emphasizing the importance of government responsibility towards its citizens' welfare. In a casual conversation usage, such as between friends or colleagues, you might say, "I've been thinking about quitting my job to focus on my family's welfare. You know, taking care of the kids and stuff." This sentence shows how the word welfare can be used informally to refer to one's overall well-being or state of being cared for. In this context, the speaker is discussing their personal priorities and responsibilities. In a business or academic usage context, such as in a research paper or a company report, you might say, "Our new initiative aims to promote the welfare of our employees by providing comprehensive health insurance and paid leave policies, resulting in increased job satisfaction and productivity." This sentence demonstrates how the word welfare can be used to refer to the overall well-being and benefit of individuals within an organization. In this context, the focus is on employee benefits and their impact on work performance. So, you want to know about this concept that's all about taking care of people who are in need? Well, let me break it down for you. Mainly, it refers to the state of being protected from physical and financial harm, ensuring that everyone has access to basic necessities like food, shelter, healthcare, and education. It's kind of like a safety net that catches people when they're going through tough times. Whether it's due to illness, unemployment, or other challenges, similar ideas include social protection, support services, and community care, all of which aim to help people get back on their feet. This concept is used in various contexts, such as government programs, nonprofit organizations, and even individual actions, like volunteering or donating to charities. The goal is always the same: to provide assistance and create a more just and equitable society for everyone. Whereas, whereas, whereas. Hi there. So, let's talk about the word whereas. As a preposition, it's used to introduce a contrast between two ideas. Usually in written English, you'll often see it at the start of a sentence, followed by a description of something that is different from what came before. For example, "I love eating salads for lunch, whereas my friend prefers sandwiches." In this case, whereas is highlighting a difference between our two food choices. It's commonly used in formal writing, like essays or academic papers. But you might also hear it in spoken English, especially when people are discussing contrasting opinions or views. Just keep in mind that in spoken language, whereas can sometimes sound a bit formal or even old-fashioned, so use it with caution if you're trying to sound natural and conversational. Here are 3 practical example sentences using the word whereas with context explanations. In a formal speech about the history of their hometown, the mayor mentioned that the town's early settlers came from Europe, whereas many of today's residents have roots in South America, highlighting the cultural diversity that has shaped the community. In contrast to the mayor's speech, a friend asked you about your travel plans and you replied, "I'm thinking of visiting Paris next month, whereas I was originally planning to go to Rome with my friends," indicating a change of mind. In an academic paper on comparative economic systems, the researcher noted that the United States economic model is based on private enterprise, whereas most European countries have mixed economies, providing a key point of comparison between two different economic systems. So, you're trying to learn about whereas. Okay, think of this. Whereas is a word that helps us compare two things, showing that they're actually quite different from each other. It's like saying, on one hand, I love ice cream. That's the first thing. And then, but on the other hand, it's not good for my diet. That's the second thing. The word whereas shows us that we have two ideas or situations that are opposite in some way. It's similar to using however, but whereas is a bit more formal, like saying however with a grown-up tone. When you use whereas, you're basically saying that something unexpected or surprising happens after the first part of your sentence. Does that make sense? Abstract. 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 As we explore the concept of abstract, let's start with the basics. It's an adjective. This means that when you use abstract to describe something, you're adding a quality or characteristic to it. Now, in everyday usage, people often say things like, "This art piece is abstract. I love its unique shapes and colors." Or, "The concept of time travel is abstract. We can only imagine what it would be like." So, common usage tells us that abstract generally refers to something that's intangible, non-concrete, or difficult to grasp. A special note about using abstract is that it often implies a sense of complexity or depth, especially when discussing ideas, concepts, or artworks. Think of it this way. If you're trying to describe a feeling, an idea, or a shape that's more thought than physical reality, you might use the word abstract to convey its essence. In a formal setting, such as an art museum lecture, you might hear an art historian say, "The artist's use of abstract shapes and colors creates a sense of depth and emotion in this painting," drawing inspiration from the avant-garde movements of the 20th century. This usage is formal because it's used in an educational or informative context where precision and clarity are crucial. In a casual conversation with a friend who's just learned about art history, you might say, "I love how abstract the new album cover is. It's so open to interpretation." This usage is casual because it's used in a relaxed setting among friends, where the goal is to engage and share thoughts rather than convey complex information. In an academic or business context, such as a research paper or marketing presentation, you might say, "The abstract nature of our company's values allows us to adapt quickly to changing market trends, resulting in increased sales and customer satisfaction." This usage is formal because it's used in a professional setting where the goal is to convey complex ideas and data in a concise and clear manner. So you're trying to wrap your head around this concept, right? Think of abstract as an idea that exists independently from real-world things, people, and events. It's more about feelings, emotions, and thoughts than specific tangible objects. When we talk about abstract concepts, we're usually discussing ideas like freedom, love, or justice, things that can't be directly touched or seen. In art and design, abstract refers to creations that don't necessarily depict the world around us but rather express emotions through shapes, colors, and patterns. This concept is related to intangibles, ideals, and metaphors, which all convey ideas without being tied to concrete realities. The good news is that abstract concepts are often used in language, art, and even music to help people connect with and understand complex feelings and thoughts.